Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12th, 1809. He was born in Hodgeville, Kentucky. He spent his early years in a log cabin. His father's name was Thomas Lincoln, and his mother's name was Nancy Lincoln. He also had a brother and sister by the names of Thomas Lincoln Jr. and Sarah Lincoln. When Abraham was 7 years old, he moved across the river to Indiana from Kentucky. They moved because they were facing a lawsuit and about to lose their farm. Kentucky was also a slavery state, and his dad was against slavery. Indiana was a slavery-free state. In Indiana, the Lincolns settled in unoccupied land in Little Pigeon Creek. When Abraham Lincoln was 9 years old, his mother died. His mother dying had an effect on his life, as well as made his already not so good relationship with his dad even worse. Abraham did not like the way his father ran his life. Abraham also did not think his father was very smart. Abraham, however, was a smart young man. When Abraham spoke, people listened. In his early years, Abraham was a flatboatman, a storekeeper, a postmaster, and a surveyor. Lincoln then decided to teach himself law. He passed the bar exam in 1807. After teaching himself law, he moved to Springfield, Illinois. This is where he met the love of his life, Mary Todd. Abraham and Mary got married on November 4th, 1842. Over the next few years, Lincoln practiced law. He was one of the best lawyers in 1858. Abraham decided to be a senator. He ran against a guy by the name of Stephen Douglas. Unfortunately, Lincoln lost the election but gained the attention of the Republican Party. In 1860, he won the Republican nomination to run for president. Once again, he had to go up against Stephen Douglas. Stephen Douglas portrayed the Republican Party as one that was for slavery. Lincoln had to convince the people that this was not true. Abraham Lincoln was able to convince the people that this was false, and he won the election and became our 16th president of the United States. The southern states did not want Lincoln to be elected president. The people did not agree with his politics or his views on slavery. These states decided to leave the Union. The first state to leave was South Carolina. Soon after, 6 states followed. Altogether, they formed the Confederate States of America, also referred to as the Confederacy. This happened after Lincoln won the election. On April 12, 1861, the Confederacy attacked Fort Sumter in South Carolina and started America's most deadly war. Lincoln called an army from the northern states to take down the southern states. The Civil War took the lives of 600,000 Americans. Lincoln faced a lot of problems, but he managed to keep the country together. On January 1st, 1863, Lincoln created the Emancipation Proclamation, which was geared to abolish slavery and free the slaves in the Confederate States. This helped him win the presidential election again in 1864. A couple of months later, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered and the Civil War was over. Slavery was over. Lincoln is often remembered for the short speech he gave at the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg on November 19th, 1863. The speech is called the Gettysburg Address. It is only a few minutes long, but it's considered one of the greatest speeches in American history. The beginning of the speech starts off with the iconic phrase, 7 years ago, which refers to the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Unfortunately, there were many people who did not like the outcome of the war. One of those people was a man by the name of John Wilkes Booth. He believed that Abraham Lincoln was an evil man and was not a good fit for being president. He believed that killing Lincoln would be a good thing, doing a service for his country and his race. On April 14th, 1865, John Wilkes Booth assassinated President Lincoln while he was at Ford's Theater, Washington, D.C. Booth knew President Lincoln and his wife were at the theater that night. He snuck into their private viewing box and shot and killed Lincoln with one bullet to the back of the head. Booth jumped out of the window with the box and broke his leg. However, he was on the run for 12 days before finally being caught. Our country lost one of its greatest leaders of all time.